joining us in the studio to give us some tips on how you can lessen the chances of your kids getting the flu.
And if you suffer from allergies, we have news you need to know about concerning the upcoming allergy season. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New with Betsy Kling and Jay Crawford.
Oh, Friday. Woo! Finally, it is Friday. Are you as happy as I am?
I'm probably happier.
Okay.
I live for Fridays.
Fridays are definitely
live for Fridays.
a good day, and the sun has been shining. It's wonderful. Good afternoon, everybody. It's 5 o'clock. That's Jay Crawford. I'm Betsy Kling, and thanks for joining us for What's New.
Well, here's what's up first and what's new, and it could be a different West Side market very, very soon. The city is now looking for a consultant to help bring new life to the popular Ohio City spot. The Cleveland icon has been struggling for a while now. Our Mark Namick is live in Ohio City with what the city's planning to do. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Jay, how are you? You are right. This market has been struggling, and this decision to hire a consultant is an acknowledgement that there are problems. There's been a lot of pressure lately to either turn over the market to a nonprofit or make some real changes, and this is a small step, but it is an acknowledgement of the problems.
Well, Mark, I got to ask, there's been so much contention between the vendors who have their stalls there and the city who owns it. Would this person kind of act as a mediation person, like an intermediary?
Well, no, the consultant's going to come in and make recommendations for the type of vendors that the market should have to really serve the new market of people, which is younger. That will be contentious. There's no question about it. They're also setting up a better evaluation system for the vendors. So this tips a little bit towards the city side, but they are considering big changes like maybe online ordering, a concierge to help get the food for people while they go to the bar or restaurant. These are some of the things vendors have asked for. The city really hasn't spent much money on marketing, and you got to remember, this building, over 100 years old, still doesn't have heating and cooling systems, regular air conditioning or heat.
Yeah.
The coolers, we've documented before on 3 News that they don't work. There are wires that run right through the coolers. They've had electrical and plumbing problems, elevator problems. It's a mess. The city says, though, we're going to invest about $5 million in the upcoming 2.5 to 3 years to help improve some of that. But the real issue is things have changed around here.
Yeah, certainly a different clientele. So, Mark, do we have a time frame on when this consultant will be hired, and then also when this work might actually begin?
Well, the first step is to ask for proposals. They hope to have those in by mid-March, and then they'll pick a vendor, and they'll kind of come in with ideas. It's going to be many months before we actually see what they recommend, but there is a real push. Remember, local councilman Carrie McCormick is leading an effort to try to get the market in the hands of a nonprofit. And I can say I lived down here before it was cool 20 years ago, and things really have changed since then.
All right. Well, hopefully they'll get a new plan and move forward. Mark Namick from Ohio City. Mark, thanks. We appreciate it. On to your feet at 5 now. And first up there, put the girls in the spotlight. I love this story. For the first time ever, Ohio high school girls will have their very own state wrestling championship. The tournament begins tomorrow or wrap up Sunday. It's at Hilliard High School, which is just outside of Columbus. This is actually not a sanctioned Ohio High School Athletic Association event, but all of the girls that will be participating must be members of Ohio high school boys teams. Here's the way it's going to work. 14 weight classes. They're expecting about 260 girls from 100 different schools to come and participate. And again, I think this is just a great thing because heretofore, if the girls want to wrestle, they have to do it on the boys teams against other boys. We're going to have a nice representation of girls from the Cleveland area at the state tournament too, Betsy. In fact, one to watch is Riley Banyas from Elyria High School. She's wrestled varsity 106. Against the boys, she's compiled a winning record, 12 wins, 7 losses. And she says she fits in just fine with the boys.
Actually, they really accepted me more than I expected in the beginning. I wasn't expecting to get along with all the guys as much as I do. It was a little nerve-wracking because I didn't really know how well I'd fit into the room with all these great wrestlers. And
Well, she's one of them now.
I guess so.
Which is
That's pretty
fantastic. So
awesome.
Riley and her family are going to head to the state competition tonight. Matches again begin tomorrow. It wraps up Sunday. And here's her hope. When you win a big wrestling tournament, they give you the actual big piece of cardboard that they write the bracket out on.
Oh, that's cool.
And you can put it up in your room or whatever. But when it's a state championship, if you win at Elyria High School, they put those bracket sheets up on the wrestling room wall.
Wow.
For everybody that comes through there to see. It's a big thing in wrestling.
Forever and ever and ever.
And we are pulling for you. We hope
Oh
you
my
bring back
gosh.
that bracket sheet. That's really cool.
It is. It's groundbreaking, and I love
Yes.
that she's breaking that glass ceiling and doing her thing.
Go get
It's
your
phenomenal.
state title.
Yeah, go
Pretty
girl.
neat, pretty
we'll
neat.
report on that. We'll follow that story for sure. Well, I know it's only February, but several people in our newsroom have noticed they have itchy eyes and
Mm-hmm.
scratchy throats and stuffy noses, and their signs are pointing to allergies. So we turned to our friends at UH who told us they are expecting an earlier allergy season because of the mild winter.
We're expecting that because of the increased amounts of rain and the warmer temperatures, that there should be more pollen because of the increased plant growth.
Always blame the weather.
So it's your fault.
No matter what, always blame the weather. Look out for pollen, everybody. That's what they're saying. And tree pollen comes first. Grass pollen, of course, will follow
Is there
second.
a date that we kind of typically look at when this starts to get bad?
I think it's interesting because a lot of people have indoor allergies that they battle at the same time.
Yeah.
And, you know, when we're going in, out, in, out, in, out, I think everybody kind of sees things really fluff up.
I have to say, and maybe this is like psychosomatic, I hadn't thought about allergies. I never had them until the last couple of years. But when this story was emailed out to us this morning and I figured we'd be talking about it, I actually started rubbing my eyes
Right?
and thinking, you know what? My eyes have been itchy the last couple
Isn't
of days.
that like when...
Yeah, it's the
when-
contagious yawn. Yeah.
Yawn.
Don't do that. At least not until 6 o'clock. Please don't do that. Okay, next on your feed at 5. It's hard to argue with this next story. A recent survey found that sometimes people actually, Betsy, love their dogs more than they love their humans.
It's a lot of times.
I think it is a lot of times. Listen to these numbers. I was somewhat surprised. This is what Rover found. 47% say it's harder to leave their dog for a week than it is their human partner. 54% say they'd end a relationship rather, if they thought their dog wasn't a fan of the other person. 57, which I love, 56% of dog parents greet their dog before any humans when they get home.
Obviously.
And 94% consider their dog part of the family. I'm surprised that number is so low.
The 94%?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had a pet, a dog, and I've always considered
The fur babies.
They're family members.
They're fur
yes,
babies.
Absolutely.
That is
Anything
interesting.
jump out at you? Any of those numbers surprise you?
I was surprised about the dog greeting them at the door.
Yeah.
Not at the number, but I think it's just common sense. The dog
Right.
is unconditionally loving.
Yes.
Something new is happening. They get very excited.
Yep.
And, you know, it's like, well, at least somebody's happy to see me when I get home.
And I started thinking about that
Yeah.
when I read the number, and I thought, well, you know, I do greet my pets first, but it's more a product of my pets running to the door to greet me. My
So-
wife doesn't really do that.
Yeah.
She's not that happy to see me, apparently.
That's my Sophie, my fur
Aw.
baby. She died 11 years ago,
Oh,
12 years
my.
ago now. And she was such a great girl. Scottish Terrier. We got her in Florida.
Pretty animal.
She was our baby.
Very pretty animal. As you know, I have two.
Mm-hmm.
There's Maddie. She's the younger of the two. And here's
at that
Layla.
face.
You know, I guess you don't realize it because you see your pet every day, but my Layla's getting old. She's 10 now. And she's getting a little white in the face and long in the tooth, but she's still my girl.
Are we going to show Mia?
And
Did we
yes,
already show
where's
Mia?
No, we haven't seen Mia yet.
Oh,
Monique,
Mia is
Monique, our producer.
Our
has a
producer's
beautiful
dog,
little dog.
yeah.
You know, one time we were doing a noon segment and we had a bunch of dogs in. Monique gets mad when I tell the story. And Mia had to relieve herself on the studio floor.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's a true story.
I like how I had one picture, you had, 2 or 3. Mia, if we sit here and we keep talking, I guarantee you there's like 8 more pictures of Mia.
Yeah, Monique has a lot of pictures of her dog.
You
on
know
her
who
phone.
else has a fur baby?
I think Sarah.
Sarah
Yeah.
Shookman. And it's a big topic of conversation how little Basil's going to do when she's a big sister.
I know, right?
I saw the picture that you tweeted or you Instagrammed a couple of days
that's
ago
right.
with your beautiful pooch sleeping
Right
ear
up
to
on
your
the
belly.
belly.
bonding already.
I know, it was really a cute moment.
I
She
love
has
that
not
picture.
done that before, and I feel like some people have told me since, that's a thing with dogs. They just have a sense of what's going on.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It was pretty cool. All right, we got to change directions now. There is a major development in Harvey Weinstein's trial. The jury told the judge they are almost deadlocked on the most serious charges of predatory sexual assault. Now, those charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison. The judge sent the jury back to work to try to come up with a unanimous verdict on all counts. 7 men and 5 women will continue deliberating on Monday morning. And Weinstein has maintained that any sexual encounters with the victims at that trial were consensual. Well, Cedar Point fans, listen up. The park is offering a ticket of a lifetime. The winner of this contest gets free admission to the park, the water park, and free parking for the rest of your life. Now, starting on Monday, you can enter online, and one winner will be picked each week through August 16th. You can find a link to the contest on our app or at WKYC.com. And by the way, Cedar Point also tells us it's building a new entry plaza that promises to streamline traffic. We all remember the headaches from last summer. It will be ready in time for opening day in May. And in celebration of the movie Impractical Jokers, Joe Gatto of the New York comedy troupe is in town to introduce the film at select Cinemark theaters. Here we're catching up with him at Valley View this afternoon. The movie stars Joe and the 3 other Impractical Jokers known from the True TV show. And in the film, a humiliating high school experience sends them on the road, competing in hidden camera challenges for a chance to redeem themselves. I don't know that show particularly well, but
I love that show. It's funny.
I love this idea that they're just showing up at the theaters. It makes you want to go see it. He was at Valley View earlier, then he went to a Cinemark theater in Sandusky, and from the looks of Twitter, he's going to be in Mansfield tonight.
Wow.
Cinemark 14 for the 9:50 showing if you want to run into Joe.
Good to know.
The show is hilarious. If you love practical jokes, you will love that show. Very, very funny.
It's going to be a good movie then.
Oh, we have the picture that I was talking about.
There it
Can
is.
you just look at that?
Isn't that sweet?
That is, please frame that. That needs a special place in your home. I think that picture, first of all, it looks professionally taken. It really does. It's just a
My
beautiful
husband
picture.
practices on Basil all the time. He runs her Instagram account, so you know.
Very nice.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks.
All right, it is time to take a quick break. Ahead on What's New, Cleveland's Slovenian Mardi Gras Festival has been going on this week. Our Mike Polk is live with a sneak peek of the current jump. I promise you're going to want to see this.
Only Mike Polk could do these kinds of stories. Unbelievable. Well, Stephanie Haney, what has been clicking in Cleveland? It is Friday, girlfriend.
It is Friday, so we all know Frankie Lindor has been vocal about wanting to stay here in Cleveland. We have the latest about what he's saying about the future of his contract here, and we're looking ahead to Downtown Cleveland Restaurant Week starting next week.
Okay, Michael, how's things looking outside? Everybody's ready to get home. Oh, look at that sun glare.
I was going to say, and here's the thing, it's 93 million miles away, and boy, it's never looked more beautiful. That sun is out. Keep in mind that if you're driving westbound, just know that sun glare may be in your eyes. So in Cleveland, no huge issues to report other than, as Betsy mentioned, the sun glare that we're seeing as you're driving westbound. Down toward Akron, things looking good. Canton looking great as well. We'll be back with your full forecast coming up right after this.
Okay. Oops. We're back.
As Jay is finishing up his paper ball during the break, as we always do.
That's how I spend the commercials.
It is.
Yeah.
You can see our feed, by the way. We do have a live feed going on the web. Anywho, clicking in Cleveland time with Stephanie Haney. Frankie Lindor finally speaking out again about his contract.
He is, yes. We know he definitely wants to stay here in Cleveland with the Indians, but he's not being shy about the fact that he's not going to leave money on the table to do it. So his contract ends in 2021, and he says he is not offering any discounts just to stay with the Indians. So here's the deal. Lindor is looking at least a 10-year, $300 million deal. That's the baseline. So in order for the Indians to make that happen, it would be really hard for them to get the money they needed to field those good positions elsewhere. And Lindor has previously said, very smartly so, this is an industry where there's money out there, and we know he's worth it. The question is, who's going to spend the money when his contract is up? That's the only question. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
Probably New York.
Probably not Cleveland from the looks of it, for
Yeah.
sure. All right, Charles Barkley on TNT's Inside the NBA last night was calling out the Cleveland Cavaliers players over how they treated former head coach John Beilein, calling them ridiculous, unprofessional, and had these really harsh words for them.
I think the veterans on that team were not leaders. And I think the young guys who can't play think they're better than they are. And they tried to get that man fired. But for those players to complain about we're practicing too hard, we're watching too much film because they stink. I just didn't think that was fair. When a coach is wrong.
Barkley says he calls out the coaches when they need it, and he calls out the players when they need it, and the players needed it here. In fact, Cavs veteran Kevin Love did say himself that the players could have helped Beilein more, but they didn't, and now here we are. All right, looking ahead to next week, Downtown Cleveland Restaurant Week is coming up, and that is starting on Monday, so you can start planning your route now so you can hit all of these places. Some favorites like Alley Cat Oyster Bar, Johnny's Downtown, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse is on there. So that starts Monday and it runs through March 1st. You can get 3 courses at each of these places. It's a pre-fee menu. That means the menu is set. So if you go for lunch, it's $15. If you go for dinner, most of the places are $30. Some of them might be a little bit over $30, but there are 45 participating locations. And if you look online, you can actually make reservations at over 20 of those places online. So it's super easy through OpenTable.
Awesome.
Did that a little bit last year, and they're great deals. I mean, you're getting a lot of food for a pretty good fixed price.
Yeah, you could take it home, have it for lunch the next day. I'm going to be eating out every day next week.
It's a good plan.
And by the way, I'm with Chuck.
me.
Charles Barkley, he calls it how he sees it. That's why he's so popular. He's right on this. Cleveland players should be embarrassed.
Agreed. All right. Thank you very much, Stephanie. Well, Cleveland's Slovenian Mardi Gras Festival has been going on all week, in case you didn't know, and it will continue this weekend. This is where you come in, because as part of tradition, creatures emerge to scare away winter and make way for spring.
Let's hope it works. Mike Polk is live there right now to tell us all about it. Mike, educate us. What's going on?
Well, let me tell you a little bit about this historic day. We're at give it to me.
Kurantovania.
Kurantovania! And where are we right now, Lauren?
We're at the Slovenian National Home on St. Clair Avenue.
In the bowels, in the basement, and you might want to take a little peek over there, everybody. Oh, no! It's a horrible creature that's here to scare away winter and make Cleveland, Slovenian women more fertile. Isn't that part of it?
Kind of, yeah.
All right. I thought that was a big part of it. This is the first day of this, Lauren?
Yeah, so we kicked off the festival. Actually, we kicked it off on Sunday. We've had events all through the week.
Okay.
Tonight is our first night that we
big
see
thing.
we see the Kurans. You're getting a sneak peek at them right now.
You guys, you get the sneak peek at the Kurans scaring off winter before everybody. Look at those bells, everyone. Go ahead and make some noise for us. Well, that is enough. That is enough.
We're a family show.
This Kuran is out of control. Is this your surliest Kuran?
Well, you know, he might be our best, actually.
Yeah, he's doing great work. I mean, there is not a winter spirit to be seen down here. What are we about to do a shot of to celebrate?
We're gonna do a shot of Slivovica, and this is it's like a plum brandy.
Sure.
It's pretty strong. It's gonna burn going down, but we'll have lots of this and lots of beer and great food, Slovenian foods tomorrow at the festival.
Okay, now tonight. Oh wait, what do we say?
We say Nazdravia.
All right, Nazdravia.
Oh my word! There he goes.
Betsy, have you noticed
there
that
goes
Mike
winter.
always finds
I don't
a way
even feel winter. I barely
to
remember
work in
winter.
a shot or at least a drink of beer?
I always do. Now you're sold out tonight for this event.
Tonight for the jump, but tomorrow is a totally open to the public, free event. We have our 5K in the morning, then our parade at 12, and then festivities the rest of the day.
All right, well, thank you very much. Come down and check it out, and go ahead and scare us up some ratings. Scare us up some ratings, you Courant.
I want to see the Courants go head to head with Punxsutawney Phil. Like, let's get that grudge match together.
My money is on the Courant there.
Yeah, mine too.
I want to see the Courant run the 5K just like that. Now that I would go out to watch.
And put your earplugs in for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. We'll be back out there in just a little bit. Slovenian Mardi Gras. I didn't even realize.
I didn't know that. What did you say?
So here we go.
Yeah, Nizdralja is what he said?
Yeah, but I think that's how he said it.
I like it.
Yeah.
We need to head on down there and party with them.
It looks like it's going to be a good time tonight.
I think so.
And the whole thing of the Courant is to scare winter away.
Hey, and Mother Nature, my goodness.
She's afraid.
It certainly did work, and it'll work this weekend for us as well. I can't wait. This is going to be, I think, one of the most beautiful weekends that we've seen this year so far. So if all you want in your life is a little bit of sunshine, boy, oh boy, Mother Nature is going to deliver. And before we get there, of course, we have to get through your TGI Friday night. Lots going on, as we mentioned before. We have the Cleveland Auto Show taking place. If you're going to be heading out and down there, over the next couple of hours, temperatures slipping through the 30s before bottoming out in the mid-20s, but we'll keep things nice and dry this evening. It will be cold, though. Notice that the actual temperatures in white, blue temperatures are our wind chill, so it only feels like 21 degrees in the area. You'll need to bundle up. We're dry right now, but the nearest bigger area of precip that I could find was literally over 600 miles away from Cleveland. So again, any travel plans to Toronto tonight? Maybe you're heading down to southern Ohio or to Metro Detroit, Michigan. It looks phenomenal. All of that is courtesy of high pressure that's in place. It'll be with us not only this evening, but through the day tomorrow on Saturday, and yes, even on your Sunday fun day. It promises to be a beautiful weekend. And here to help me out, by the way, with the weekend forecast, I got to introduce you to 3 really cool kids. All of them, by the way, have had wonderful attendance. There are bus stop kids, and they're hanging out with me this evening. First, I want to introduce you here to Nigel from Campus International School. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. This is what the forecast looks like for tonight. We'll fall through the mid-20s. I also have Miss Lily with me as well. And Lily, we're at almost 50 degrees tomorrow on Saturday. And last but not least, Gabby helping me out with our Sunday Fun Day forecast in the low 50s. Would you jump into a big old pool at 52 degrees, or is that a little bit too cold?
I would jump in.
Yeah, a little bit chilly.
Girl.
But you know what, guys? A beautiful weekend. Guys, thank you so much, and congratulations on a wonderful attendance this school year. We're back with more coming up.
That's really great. We do have the rest of the 7-day
Sure
forecast
do.
we can chat about real quick, because after we get the sunny days 2 days in a row, we will eventually get some colder air coming in here by the middle
I'll
of
have to
next
buy some
week.
sunglasses, I guess.
I know. And then late next week, the snow could get a little interesting. But, well, there's time for that. We'll be right back. Well, chances are you or someone close to you is sick. The flu report this week from Cuyahoga County, the tally now of flu-related deaths is unfortunately up to 14 now, so 5 this week. The flu still very much top of mind for families. It does affect people of all different ages. Dr. Gina Robinson is here. She's our doctor mom with some ways to keep it natural to help keep your kids from getting the flu. If the kids don't get the flu, then maybe the parents, the grandparents won't get the flu.
We can help, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, prevention is the best offense, right? So wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands.
Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. You
Okay.
can come up with a little song that you like to sing. The birthday song, Happy Birthday, is a good song.
Everybody knows that
Everybody
one.
knows that one.
And the kids love it, certainly. And you brought in some other things. This is not what I expected to see on the table
No,
by any
okay.
stretch. Is it elderberry?
Elderberry. So elderberry's been getting a lot of buzz. You probably know somebody who's taking some right as we speak. And it is something that gives your immune system a natural boost. So it's not a replacement for getting your flu shot. It's not a replacement for washing your hands. And it doesn't hurt. So it's one of those things that we're still working on studies to find out how much it really does, but it definitely doesn't hurt, and it can give your immune system a boost.
Now, it's always hard with vitamin dosing with kids. So that, you know, I'm sure that's an adult dose or...
Well, these are
how do
actually
you
for
do
kids.
this?
So this is a kid's
Oh,
gummy.
nice.
So they would just take a gummy. You don't even have to think about it.
That's easy enough. But if somebody has vitamins or something that they want to, you know, give to their kids, how do they do the dosing on that?
You should always look at the label because there are so many different companies that make vitamins. You just want to make sure that you're reading the label so you're specific to that specific brand.
Okay, well, good old-fashioned honey. Honey does a lot.
Good old-fashioned honey can quiet coughs just as well as most of the things you can buy over the counter probably. Plus it tastes good and it comes in a cute little bear.
Right, who doesn't love that?
Who doesn't love the bear? As long as you're over age 1, it's safe.
Okay.
So under age 1, we want to avoid honey. But above age 1, give it a try. Again, it can't hurt.
And what do? You can just give them a spoonful
of honey? You can do a
honey?
teaspoon of honey. You can do some tea with honey. Either way is fine.
All right.
Whatever you like.
And we've got the cool plate sitting here. This is pretty sweet. So obviously good food, good body. Everything kind of works all together.
Exactly.
Is this the Eat the Rainbow plate?
Eat the rainbow. I tell my patients to eat the rainbow, and we don't mean the candy rainbow. We mean the healthy rainbow. So we want our vegetables, we want our fruit, we want our grains and proteins. This is nice because it gives you kind of a serving idea.
Yeah.
But having a healthy diet is essential for your immune system as well.
That is amazing. And the kids love to organize their own food.
Yes.
So
they
do your thing and stack it where you want to stack it. Just make sure you eat all of it. Dr. Gina Robinson, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, you're welcome. My
really
pleasure.
appreciate it. She's a Cleveland Clinic pediatrician, so we really appreciate you being here. Well, still ahead on What's New, we see and hear from Cavs owner Dan Gilbert for the first time since he had his stroke in May. How he appears to be doing and recovering. Jay?
And we are live at the auto show. Will Ewick gives us a first look at what's new in the auto industry. Plus, this is a true story. Not making this up. A bear once jumped my fence and actually got into my bird feeder. Drove me nuts. Petites is here with animal-proof bird feeders.
One, two, three, four. Hello. Yeah, I'm on sports. Mine doesn't work for some reason. It's
now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New with Betsy Kling and Jay Crawford.
Okay, picture this next sentence with exclamation points after every word. It
Period.
is
Period.
Friday.
Exclamation
Two
point.
exclamation points.
Exclamation.
Yeah. Happy weekend to everyone at home. Thanks so much for hanging out with Betsy and me. It is What's New. Check out this piece of video. This is pretty cool. So a 37-year-old mom in Missouri mastered a move that she was scared to death of as a teen.
Girl.
Nicole Clemmons showed off her round-off back layout on social media, which is the move that kept her from moving to the next level as a young gymnast. She said she got inspired after her daughter started gymnastics, so she joined an adult class, and Betsy, she nailed it.
That's fantastic.
It's pretty cool.
It's really hard to stay on your feet in those ball pits, too.
Yeah, I know it is.
I've done that at the little jump zone places.
Yes.
But, oh my gosh, that's fantastic. That takes a lot of courage.
It does. You're absolutely
It's a lot
right.
of courage to do it when you're young, but when you're older.
Yeah, because things don't quite move the same way they used to when you were 15.
Yeah.
But good for her, man.
That's
good for her. Find that obstacle and figure out a way to knock it down.
Yeah, go back, get
I'm all
it
about
done.
that.
Well, let's check in with today's top stories at the bottom of the hour. Russ Mitchell is joining us live from his desk in the newsroom. Hey there, Russ.
Hey, Betsy. Hey, Jay. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to you at home. A Strongsville priest arrested on child pornography charges in 2 Northeast Ohio counties is now facing federal charges. This afternoon, Reverend Rob McWilliams was charged by the feds with child sex trafficking and exploitation, as well as new counts of child pornography. He was arrested back in December and faces multiple counts in Cuyahoga and Geauga counties. 2 workers involved in a hazmat materials incident at a truck cleaning company in Cleveland have died. This happened at the Keenan Advantage Group on Union near East 80th. The medical examiner's office has identified one of the victims as 60-year-old Alan Lander. The other victim is a woman. Cleveland police are asking for your help in finding 2 suspects in a hit and run that injured a 9-year-old girl. They tell us she was getting off the school bus yesterday afternoon at West 73rd Street in Brinsmead when she was hit by an orange Kia Soul that was later found abandoned a few streets away. The girl suffered a broken leg and other serious injuries. And President Trump is calling the latest warning about Russian interference in the 2020 election a hoax. A new warning came today as questions linger over whether the U.S. is doing enough to prevent the kind of meddling the country saw in the 2016 election. That is all at 5:30. You guys have a great weekend. I'll see you at 6 o'clock.
All right.
Thanks,
see you
Russ.
for what matters most. Time for our top talker now at 5:30. We got our first look at Cavs owner Dan Gilbert today. Since he suffered his stroke back in mid-May, looked pretty good, to be quite honest. He was in Detroit receiving an award from Cranes. Gilbert was brought on stage in a wheelchair while he spoke clearly and seemed to be in good spirits about returning to work. He didn't make himself available for reporters or share any plans for Cleveland. He did, however, talk about Detroit, where he is currently building a skyscraper.
I don't know how you can go bad buying buildings at a certain price when rent's at a certain price. And we're not in it for chasing money anyway. We're in it to achieve the dream and our mission, which all gets implemented by culture and by great leaders.
Andrew Horansky will have much more on Dan Gilbert's speech today coming up top of the hour, 6 o'clock from Detroit.
Talk about courage.
It was good to see him. It was because from all reports, it was pretty serious.
Very.
And it's been a very difficult journey to get back to where he has. Clearly, he has more work to do, but don't underestimate this guy. He's working hard and hopes to be back to regular activities in the future.
Well, we'll be glad to get him back here in Cleveland every
We
now
will.
and again to pop in over there at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, certainly. Well, we have another top talker for you today. The Bay Village Historical Society is putting up for auction what some people may see as a pretty morbid piece of local history. It's the original fireplace mantle from the Sam Shepard home. This fireplace was in the house when Marilyn Shepard was murdered on July 4th, 1954. It's actually the only large piece of the original Shepard home that's still around since the house was torn down. And Bay Village history experts say there's still a huge fascination with the Sam Shepard case.
We get people from all over the country who come to see it. This murder has still gathered the interest of people from all over the country.
And of course, Shepard was tried twice for his wife's murder. He was found guilty the first time, then retried and acquitted. Money raised from the auction will be used to keep the Bay Village Historical Museum running. The bidding is now up to $500, but organizers think it's worth about $1 million.
Well, I'd like to put in a bid for 501.
There you go.
Then.
Bidding ends at noon on Monday, March 2nd, so you have a few more days to do that. You can contact the Bay Village Historical Society for more information.
$1 million?
Yeah, that one seems a little steep for me, but you know, these little facets of history that's attached to some kind of a morbid situation for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, there was
they
such
are
interest in the case.
Really big collector's items, so that is certainly something that could happen. Of course, the movie The Fugitive, kind of a spin-off of all of that too. So.
Absolutely. $1 million, though.
That's a lot.
We'll see what it goes for on Monday.
Well, Stephanie Haney is here now with your pop break, and Stephanie, Selena Gomez has a message for an ex.
Well, it definitely sounds like it. Selena Gomez is singing a very sassy tune with her new single out today. Maybe to Justin Bieber, maybe to The Weeknd, maybe both. I don't know. Either way, she's not pulling any punches. Here's tonight's pop break. Selena Gomez is sending a powerful message in her new song, Feel Me, off her album Rare. She seems to be talking to a cheating ex-lover about how he'll never be with anyone who will be as good to him as she was.
I love you like I love you. Never cheat, never lie.
Wonder who this one's about. Today's Google Doodle features one of Mexico's biggest stars, Roberto Gomez Bolaños, on what would have been his 91st birthday. The late performer was a beloved comedian, film and TV director, singer, and playwright. Bethany Frankel is getting real about why she left the Real Housewives of New York City. Turns out she just doesn't want to do it anymore, and it had nothing to do with her paycheck. In a new interview with Variety, Frankel says, "I wasn't leaving because of money, I was staying because of money." Now, she says she doesn't need it, and you couldn't pay her enough to sit somewhere and cry over something she wouldn't normally care about.
I literally didn't even hear your question. It's so hot.
And Will Ferrell just took his turn in the hot seat on Hot Ones with host Sean Evans, the viral YouTube series where interview guests eat 10 scorching hot chicken wings that get hotter and hotter as the questions get hotter and hotter. Some highlights. Ferrell says he's not on Twitter because he got shouted off after just 4 days for promoting a charity event, and he shut down the rumor that he needed alcohol to get naked in front of Snoop Dogg while filming Old School. Before he left, Ferrell had a message for his downhill co-star Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Was it worth it? Absolutely not. I've never had an interview like this. No question.
Well, we'll hang our hat on
I
that.
wish Julia could have been here.
I think that would be fun to try.
You do?
I do. I love hot wings.
I think we can make that happen.
Oh, we can totally make that happen.
Bring it.
Oh.
Okay.
I
like some hot vegan wings. I'm not that spicy.
I love hot stuff.
Do you?
Yeah.
I do not. So
Within
I will,
reason.
I'll eat the wimpy wings.
I think that Will Ferrell likes hot stuff too, but you should see him in this video. Okay, the video is 22 minutes long, but it is worth every second of it. He is like coughing and sputtering as he gets to the 10th
well,
wing.
maybe I don't want you to bring it.
We can make this happen.
You
No, you're in now, dude.
Toothpaste
I think
out of
I'm
the
in.
tube.
Sorry.
Hey, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Okay.
Bring it.
Out of the tube.
I actually sweat. My forehead sweats when I'm eating anything that's really super hot. So the hotter it goes, the more drenched you're going to see me get.
I'll bring in some hankies for you.
Yeah, y'all need a few.
I thought I was so cool when I was little. I was introduced to hot wings by my dad on football Sundays, and I would get the mild butter wings. I thought I was so cool. They were literally butter.
Not very hot.
I've ramped it up now.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
All right, Steph, thanks. Ahead on What's New, if it's opening night at the auto show, it must be Will Hewick. He's going to show us some of the hottest new tech for 2020, and I love this kind of stuff.
Definitely. And Michael, how's things going? I mean, it's kind of nice. We got some sunshine rolling through.
That sunshine, Betsy, looks and feels beautiful. Although it's only 32 degrees, we're actually just over 27 days or so away from spring, and we have a very spring-like forecast coming up this weekend. More on that right after this.
All right, and it's time now for our pop quiz. Dolly Parton's song 9 to 5 reached number 1 on the pop charts. Which year was it? 80, 81, 82? We'll be right back with the answer. All righty, let's get the answer to our pop question. Dolly Parton's song 9 to 5 hit #1 on this day in what year? Any guesses?
I'd say 80, maybe.
Okay. Well, the answer is 1981.
Oh, okay. Well, wasn't all five.
Working 9 to 5.
That was a great movie.
It's a great movie.
It was a great movie.
It's a great song.
It really was. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking, I think they did a remake a couple of years ago.
I thought I remembered somebody did something.
Didn't make much of a splash, I
Yeah,
think.
you gotta have Dolly Parton in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Must have.
Love Dolly.
We got more kids over there who go to school at an unbelievable rate. And the message here, Michael, is go to school, you get to do cool things.
Absolutely, that's
so
exactly
kids go
it.
to school.
And we're going to introduce you to 4 of my really good friends, by the way, that have near perfect attendance. That's coming up in the next couple of minutes. But first, though, if you're heading out and about this evening, lots going on here in downtown Cleveland, including Anastasia, a beautiful musical, by the way, at Playhouse Square. Showtime 7:30 this evening. Temperatures falling through the 30s. Well, eventually, by the time the show ends, around, say, 10:30, we'll be in the upper 20s. But when you factor in the actual winds to the temperatures outside, that's what takes a little bite out of the actual temps. So although it says 33 for my friends in Worcester and Wayne County, it only feels like 24. Dry right now, and I got some good news for you. We are going to be dry all weekend long. We'll pick things up tonight and take you through the midnight hour into early tomorrow morning. We'll bottom out eventually in the mid-20s, but we'll rebound nicely tomorrow afternoon on Saturday. Despite what our hour-by-hour is showing, I think that by the 4 to 5 o'clock hour, temperatures easily in the mid and perhaps upper 40s by that point. And then by Sunday, I think also looking like a wonderful time to get out and about. I think that by early into the next work week is when we'll start to see a couple of issues. But in the meantime, let me introduce you to my 4 good friends here. We'll start from the very right. And first off, Sky, thank you so much and congratulations on near perfect attendance. Sky goes to Harvey Rice, a 4th grader, and we're all 4th graders here, by the way. And then you can see tonight, as we mentioned, we're in the mid-20s. Thank you so much, Lamir, for hanging out with us. And then, of course, Jameer, 9 years young. And you know what, Jameer, how does 47 degrees in the middle of winter sound? Not bad, right? Sounds pretty good to me if you ask me. And then, of course, by your Sunday fun day, temperatures in the low 50s. And CJ, what do you think about that? You like low 50s as opposed to like mid-20s?
Yeah.
All right, I like the sound of that. And of course, your full Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast showing you temperatures slowly by, say, Monday, Tuesday, and on Wednesday falling through the 40s. You'll notice that rain-snow mix on Tuesday. By Wednesday, I think we'll see a couple of showers. And notice that the bottom falls out on us by late week next week. Thursday and Friday, I think we see a temperature tumble. We're in the 30s and perhaps even 20s for highs with our lake effect snow machine kicking into high gear by that point. But again, Jay and Betsy, so great to have all 4 of my friends here. Near perfect attendance. How awesome is that?
That's astounding. I can't believe it.
And CJ, good catch with the sun there. Well
yeah.
done. We appreciate that very much.
Absolutely adorable. Betsy, do you know that going back to the year 1903, there's been one single event that's sort of been the unofficial start of the car buying season here in Cleveland?
Nope.
It's the Cleveland Auto Show.
Oh, no kidding.
1903.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and it's underway today.
All right. Well, tonight is opening night, and Will Hewitt gets a first look inside with some of the hottest, fastest, and most high-tech new cars for 2020. Hi, Will.
Yeah, hey, Betsy J, it kicks off today, and then it's going to go up to March 1st. So you have 10 days to get down here. So you may be interested in what's new. What is some of the new technology out here? Well, let's start with the Mustang Mach Ii from Ford. So this is a redesign of the Mustang. It has that, I don't know if you remember, I did that piece back in November about that 360-degree view. So it's not just a rear view camera anymore. It's the front, it's the sides. Also, this thing completely 100% electric. So it gets about 300 miles, up to 300 miles on a charge. They have different charging stations you can dock into, 45-minute charge, and you're back on your way. Maybe grab lunch during it. So if there's no engine, what do? Well, they called this a frunk. So basically what this is a cooler and you can actually drain the ice after it melts out there. You can take your drinks with you. If you want a tailgate, I guess we need the front gate, is what we would call it here, to take this out. But so this is one of the cool things that they're doing. And again, I mentioned that 360 view. That's on a lot of the new cars now. Everybody's using that because they know you're not just backing out of your driveway anymore. You're pulling forward. Somebody's low, you can't see him. Something on the side, it gives you that option. But so this right now, you can't buy it. You can't get it on the dealership. It's going to be first available coming up in October is when you can finally get your hands on the Mustang Mach Ii. I don't know if you guys are Mustang people, but obviously a much different look to the Mustang than what you're typically used to.
It looks completely different. Yeah, but I like it.
It's a muscle car, so does the electric engine have as much muscle as the gas engine?
It's got some muscle, but the interesting thing for me, like I said, up to 300 miles, I'm thinking that works great, like commuting to work and back, but can you go cross country on it? They said they have over 12,000 charging stations that you can use, and I'm thinking, okay, but then I got to plug it in for 4 hours. If you get one of the high-tech plug-ins, 45 minutes. You go grab lunch, and then you're back in and back on the road. It's
That's faster than my phone.
It's not bad, really.
Thanks a lot,
absolutely.
Will.
And it goes for
Appreciate
300 miles.
Yeah.
So, well,
10
thanks.
days of the auto show upcoming, and we get that little sneak peek. So that's really
Love
good
it.
stuff. Thank you, Will. Well, new at 5, our Worth the Watch segment is just so cute. How a dog and a pigeon became best buds.
What?
I know.
Is that true? And if you're looking for that animal-proof feeder, I don't know that it exists. It's the bane of my existence. This squirrel just keeps coming back and coming back, and the birds are like, stay off of my feeder. That's for me.
And you have a special friend coming to help you do this.
I do. My wife's a huge bird lover. She trounces through feet of snow in the winter to feed these things. She's going to join us next to talk about that perfect bird feeder, if it exists. Welcome back to What's New. I'm not sure if you know this or not, but this month is actually National Bird Feeding Month. And my wife, Tracy, loves birds, so we brought her in for this segment because she'd have better questions to ask of our expert than I would, for sure. One thing that I have learned, and that we've learned together, bird feeders come with problems because other animals think that that's for them. This is real video.
Oh my gosh, that is our
from
bear.
my backyard. Tracy, I know you remember this. This bear climbed my fence, knocked my bird feeder to the ground, smashed it into a bunch of pieces, and sat there literally for 45 minutes and just kept eating the bird seed like it was all for him. And when he finally got ready to leave, I manned up and I ran out in the backyard and I said, "Get out of here now." And he jumped the fence and we never saw him again. But
oh, we did too.
Not that one. This was a baby. We thought this was a cub maybe a year old or so. But he was the cutest thing, but I just didn't want to get out there with him. Noelle Aiken is an expert. She is here to help us animal-proof these bird feeders, if that's even possible. I'm not sure that it is. So I want Tracy to ask the first question because there's one thing that always turns up missing. What is it?
Suet feeder. I did not know about this fun thing.
Yeah, so we put it in like a little container, but we have a raccoon that every night.
like that.
He can take that apart and get the suet out.
Right, so we were talking about maybe zip tying the top, right? So zip tie it after you put the suet in. You're going to have to cut the tie every time. And then you said you have a C hook that you actually will link it onto your feeder pole.
We have to because they disappear.
Oh yeah.
So what is this?
So this is really cool. So when a larger animal gets on the suet feeder, it's a double kick suet feeder. It pushes it down. Whoops, we're gonna pull it up that way.
The weight of the animal does.
And the weight of the animal
It's like
will
this.
pull that cage down. It cuts the feeding off. They can't get in there. You would still have to make sure that you hook it onto your pole.
So they don't take it.
So they don't take the whole feeder
Well,
down.
we had that happen last summer.
Yeah.
The raccoon literally took the entire suet feeder and we never saw it again.
He took a real feeder.
Yeah, but the cage around here keeps everybody out so they can't get into the suet, and also that pull down mechanism for anything that's heavier. And with these springs, you can actually, for larger birds, if you didn't want the crows, the grackles, those types of things, you can adjust the spring tension so it will even pull down if some of the larger birds come in.
We have 30 seconds left. If you're going to get one bird feeder, what do you recommend?
Oh, I love that Squirrel Buster, and you have that one.
We have this.
So this is 5 pounds of seed in here. So especially for the winter, you fill this up. It's full of seed. Go ahead, and then when you hang it up, the larger birds or animals that get on here, again, it cuts off the port. So it's really nice. The seed doesn't get out. And if you're having problems with the squirrels, they don't like safflower. And they don't like the hot pepper. So any type of hot pepper seed or suet, that's going to work really, really well.
Were you taking
they
notes?
Taste it, but the birds don't taste it, of course.
Okay, super.
Yeah, absolutely.
Noelle, it's almost here. Spring's right around the corner.
Right.
Thank you so much for coming in. Bird feeding, I had no idea. It's a huge deal.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people are really into this.
Yeah.
We have a video worth the watch. It's the cutest little thing. When an animal makes friends, when a bird rather, makes friends with a dog. It's next. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks, Trace.
I am. It's been struggling for a while. Now help could soon be coming to a Cleveland gem, the West Side Market.
How's that, David? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, sir.
Was that good?
Happy Friday, friends. Here's what's up this weekend. Bright Winterfest is back on Saturday in the Flats West Bank, and you can take advantage of this beautiful weather we're having and get outside for food, drinks, local music, art, and games. And it's actually free, but a donation is appreciated.
Welcome to the weekend, welcome to the party.
If country music is more your thing, you can see Lee Brice and opener Caroline Jones on Saturday at the Akron Civic Theater starting at 8 p.m. And, as you know, the auto show is back in town. Now through March 1st, head to the IX Center to see the record-breaking Cannonball Run car from our very own Doug Tabbitt and hang out with celebs like Nick Chubb and NASCAR's Justin Haley. Get the full schedule plus links to even more events on WKYC.com and our 3 News app.
You should have seen Jay's face when he found out the Cannonball Run car is going to be there. He's
I love that thing.
Little kid.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
it's
awesome.
time now for our Worth the Watch segment. Today we have them of the cutest pictures ever. A Chihuahua and a pigeon struck up a very unlikely friendship. They're both at a nonprofit in New York.
Well, one of the owners had Herman the pigeon out of his playpen. She was also taking care of the dog Lundy, and the two just for some reason started snuggling, and the dog on the dog bed there, and they've just bonded. Now they're best friends, and the pictures have more than 6 million views on Facebook.
They're about the same size, so
Yeah.
you know it's like when a two-year-old kid sees another 2-year-old kid.
Do you
It's
think
immediately like.
Do you think the bird thinks it's a dog or the dog thinks it's a bird?
I think they're just happy to see each other.
They
Thanks for
love each other.
watching What Matters Most is next.
Outside help, departing vendors, equipment issues,